Interestingly, many people might have difficulty trying to define what critical thinking is. So let me give you my definition. Basically has 4 parts. First, it is the ability to provide valid and accurate evidence to make a claim or to refute an opponent's claim. 2, it's the ability to support a claim or refute an opponent's claim with a deductive line of reasoning. Critical reasoning is also the ability to see when your opponent has failed to support his or her claim with good evidence. And finally, it's the ability to see and point out when an opponent has used a logical fallacy. One could think of critical thinking as just another way of talking about the art of persuasion. And let's also consider it the art of dissuasion, which is just as important. If persuasion is the ability to convince someone to do or believe something, it's just as important to be able to dissuade somebody, which is to convince them not to do or not to believe something. As such, critical thinking is both a weapon and a shield, as I've defined it. We use it to go on the attack by putting forth a claim or argument that we want to make, but we also use it as a shield when we're being given some bogus argument that lacks substance, evidence, or some line of deductive reasoning. It is appropriate now to define what we mean by evidence. So here are the types of evidence. First, a verifiable fact, such as how high a tree is. In general, most facts are things that nobody could argue with. We can get on a ladder with a tape measure and prove how high that tree is. No one can really argue with that unless they're an unreasonable or psychotic person. Another type of evidence that shows up in a lot of arguments, especially political ones, is a statistic. And a statistic is simply a fact expressed in numeric form. A third type of evidence is expert testimony. Now this is especially like in a court situation where the attorney will have an expert on ballistics come up to the witness stand and explain what happened to the bullet that they found. For this one, we should probably define what we mean by expert. So we're going to say an expert is someone who, through their education or experience, possesses a specialized body of knowledge that the rest of us lack. A fourth type of evidence is witness testimony. Now, just because this is fourth doesn't mean it's weak. Think about it. If someone was actually there and can testify what they actually witnessed, that can be pretty persuasive. Let's say that a fight breaks out on the street, and there are rumors circulating about who threw the first punch, and all kinds of different accounts of the fight are kind of circulating. Finally, though, someone actually steps forward and talks about what they actually saw. They were standing right next to the person who threw the first punch. That is actually pretty persuasive. Now, in terms of criminal cases, it's very often also for physical objects such as fingerprints, bullets, and the like to be used as evidence as well. The use of evidence to support or refute a claim is known as inductive reasoning. And inductive reasoning is thinking from the specific to the general. In other words, from a whole range of specific little bits of evidence, we arrive at the general verdict of what is true.